Yeah, 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 yeah. You're now tuned into the one and only place where you can get what's needed on your plate along with what's going on in your hood. Candy Lady's gonna keep you up to date with events going on around your way. What's really good? SC by Black locally. Keep them dollars circulating in your own community. It's the SCBBL show. You're now tuned into the SCBBL show. Rock on. Rock on.
What's up? Welcome to the SCBBL show. It's your girl Candace, and you are watching our Fridays with Fathers. This is episode number 4. And tonight we are here with my little brother, my real little brother, Dominique Rollison. Hey, Dominique.
What's going on, guys? How you?
Good. How are you doing?
All right. Can y'all see me good? Can you see me good?
Yeah, we can see you good.
All right.
So tell the people a little bit about Dominique. Like, who is Dominique in general before we get into fatherhood?
Speaking of, just all around background or just?
Yeah, just some background information.
So, I grew up back and forth from Pringletown, the Cross, basically. I grew up with, you guys, my 3 sisters, Candace, Nita, and Rhonda. Basically, man, childhood, even though I grew up with you guys and, mom and dad raised me, my mom, she was like, I guess, a big sister to you. So I was kind of, I guess, that, little brother. And it was just, man, I came from nothing to something, basically. Nothing. And when I say nothing, I don't mean as like, my family didn't have or, we were lacking, whatever. But, we weren't the richest, but we weren't the poorest either. But when I say like nothing to something, I mean, I went from, just doing whatever I felt like, living, how I wanted to basically having standards, morals, the same standards and morals that were embedded in me from, childhood or whatever. It's just that, when I hit those teenage years, I kind of did my own thing. And, I got it straight, so now I'm glad I got it straight. So I'm here today. I'm 30. A lot of teachers in high school told me I wouldn't even make it to see 21. So,
Wow.
It's great to see 30. It's great to be here. 2 kids, a wife, a family. So it's a blessing.
Yeah, we definitely have some stories. That's awesome. So now that you had that experience, you like you say, you chose your own path. You experienced some things in life. Do you think that helps you when it comes down to the way that you parent versus the way that you were parented? Because you just knew, you still to this day know everybody. Like, you have a connection with the old all the way down to the young. So yeah, talking about that a little bit.
Parenting is I'm still trying to get it down to science, because parenting, you kind of have to come to an agreement on both sides. I kind of gotten to the point where I seen that my wife and I were raised like, differently. So the things that I expect, or the things that, I was raised, I try to, I guess, look at it from a different perspective. I try to look at it from her perspective. Because I guess the way we were raised was, you get it right, or, I get you right, basically. Try not to be as hard on my kids, but still I try to be firm, stern, and teach them that, I'm all for an easy way of learning or easier way of teaching. When I say that, I mean, lighter as in not always the disciplinary, being hard on the disciplinary side of it, talking to them and things of that nature. But I'm also not a fan of, and maybe it's because of, I was in the Marines for 8 years, but I'm not a fan of pity and petty in them either. So, it's like you have to find a balance, so to speak. But you can't let it be more one soul than the other. And basically, like I said, it's basically you have to kind of find your niche.
Yep. And I like what you said about trying to get it down to a science, because I don't think that'll ever happen. Mm-hmm. I think, like, even before having kids, I was kind of like, I'm about to be a mom. I don't even know what that looks like. Like, I know what my mom looks like, but I don't know what being a mom looks like for me. And speaking to you, like, even though you had male figures in your life that helped to raise you, you know, I'm sure like every person who probably missed out on a biological connection in some way struggled with some things. But some people turn that into an excuse on why they're not good at parenting. And then looking at somebody like you turn it into an even better reason to be involved. Like, you hardly ever see something with your kids that you're not present to. So do you want to kind of like talk about your experience there?
So I'm gonna keep it real, man. I'm 30, like I said, yo, and my real father, man, honestly, man, if he gave me $1, man, I would probably remember the serial number on that dollar. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But not, you know what I'm saying, not in a disrespectful way or in a disrespectful manner, but that's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? As I got older, I understood or tried to kind of understand where he was coming from as a man, but I still really never got it. I feel like that's really selfish of you to never give or, kind of
be involved,
nurture your kids, you know what I'm saying? And, some people use the excuse of life gets to the best of us and life is this and that. Nah, I'm like I said, I don't really have pity for grown men, so when there's a will, there's a way.
Right.
With my kids, I always said that since my dad wasn't really there, I never wanted my kids to feel like I felt. Even though I had male figures, even though I had, people to raise me and, kind of show me love and nurture me and things like that, it was always still the question in the back of my mind, like, well, where's my dad? Or why isn't my dad around?
Right.
What is it that he's doing, that he can't, pick up the phone and call, or why he couldn't call on my birthday, it's just
real life.
Yeah, it's real life, man. And you grow up, shit, your whole life with just basically a couple male figures or whatever. And don't get me wrong, I had a stepdad, and I love him to death, man, because he stepped in and he took me in like I was his own son. You know what I'm saying? And he showed me love, and he never swayed away from that. But even though he didn't sway away from that, like I said, it's always still that thing in the back of your mind, like, where's my dad? And that brings up another point, man. Like, you got to be a real strong man or a real strong gentleman to, take on other kids as your own, basically raising them, and you're not the father, not treating them like the redheaded stepchild,
right?
I mean? But that's another subject for a different day. But shout out to real stepfathers, man. Because stepfathers, man, they make it happen for real.
Definitely.
And
step parents in general.
Yeah, step parents in general. Step parents in general. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it goes both ways.
Yeah.
But that's basically why I never, I vowed to never leave my kids as long as I can breathe. You know what I'm saying? They'll always know I'm here for them. They'll always know I'll be here. Whatever I can do, I'll do it. You know what I mean? I hate to say it like this, but it is what it is. Like, I'll lay down behind mine. You know what I'm saying? Whether I got to go lay behind the bars or whether I got to go 6 feet. But they mine. I brought them here, so you know what I'm saying? That's mine to protect. And that's how I feel about it.
That's amazing. Yeah, you can definitely see the love that they have for their daddy. So when it comes down to like the family dynamics in general, it's just a different, a different world. Like we hardly ever, I think we all have this picture in our head of what a family would look like. But then when it comes down to real life and developing our own family, some things that you probably saw while you were raised is different from how you are and how you chose to develop your family. And some things you are molding as you go along. So is there things that you had like probably made up in your head, like the white picket fence, fairy tale, and then people think that when you get married, it's a wrap. Like I'm once I say I do, that's it. I'm never going backwards. People have all of this stuff in their head, but tell people real life, like marriage is not just this easy slate. Like once you say I do, all your sins is washed away, and it's a choice.
Marriage, man, that's something that marriage is. I tell you, marriage, like you said, it'll never work unless you make it work or unless you work for it.
Yeah.
Man, you honestly, man, you might not even believe me, and I'm not a prophet or anything, but when I was like 16 and I first met my wife or whatever, and maybe it was just I had smooth lines or I don't know, but I told her, give me 10 or 15 years and I'll put her in the white picket fence. And just so happened,
you got a white picket fence.
So I mean, it's crazy, man. Hey, but life happens like that. But marriage, man, like I said, I got married at a young age. I got married at a real young age. So my wife is a real trooper. Shout out to her. She's been through it all, man. We've been through it all, from everything, man. And I'm not even lying, from being broke, the infidelity, the everything, man, because I got married at a young age and I went from high school straight to the Marine Corps. So, I mean, she was with me basically as I grew up.
Right.
And people may look at it and say, I don't know. I don't really care how people look at it. But what I'm trying to say is you kind of have to be friends before you become, I think that's the best.
That is so important.
You have to be friends. So, even though we went through like infidelity together and things like that, she was still my friend more than all. And basically she helped me get through everything we got through together. She was always like, well, I'm here to help you get through whatever it is that we had to get through. So, I mean, that's basically, what got us here to where we are today.
That is amazing. Shout out to sis. Hey, Damien. Damien said, that's dope. Brenda said, I know that's right. Mama says, yes, you did it. You got the white picket fence.
Oh, I can't even say
I can see it on my screen.
It was just me, y'all like, yo, ain't nobody log on, but whatever.
Yep. It looked like your friend Renee King said, ain't you supposed to be somewhere?
Today.
He's spending time with his sister today, that's all. But yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Like, that friendship base is something serious. That helps you to be transparent in the things that you're going through. It helps you, like you said, to grow up together. It helps you to be understanding of that person's mind frame because you have developed that strong foundation. So as things change, as we change, we continue to change and we continue to develop into the beings that we're supposed to be. So yeah, people might want to throw in the towel for different reasons, but that's because they never made that true connection outside of just like being married. Somebody said the whole class watching you. Shout out to the class.
I was sound like that.
So thank you for sharing that, Dominique. When it comes down to maybe like some values that you want to instill in your children as they grow up.
So now, like, maybe you should have kept it like, nobody was watching. That's how. Oh, man. Go ahead. We good.
Yeah. So when it comes down to values, what are some of the values that you think that you had that helped you to become the man that you are, that you try to transfer, to your children as they grow up?
Basically just honor, courage, commitment.
Honor, courage, commitment.
You gotta be in this world, especially the world that we live in today. You gotta be And my son, I think I'm a little more harder on him than I am my daughter, but that's just because I want him to be a strong black man. And I don't want him to ever feel like he's less of a man or he's less of a being because the color of his skin. You know,
Right.
Nowadays, man, it's more of us making we're in and above their tax bracket, you know. But we just have to figure out how to. A lot of people and a lot of young black men or young black gentlemen, they can't articulate how they feel, or they can't articulate their anger. They can't put their anger into words, so it becomes a fight, or you know, you know how we go. We'll rumble with them, and
Right.
we'll. I mean, not 9 times out of 10, we'll beat them. We'll beat them down. But you have to learn how to beat them here. And
Right.
to my son. But I want him to be honorable. And I want him to have the courage to step up to, you know, everything that's right, stand for what he believes in, stand firm in what he believes in, you know, and have the courage to step out and stand out in a crowd. You know, I step out and I always stand out. Like, people, they see me dress and they see me in the streets, and then I guess they hear me speak, and then it kind of take them for a loop. You know what I'm saying? But what am I supposed to look like? You know what I mean? What am I supposed to sound like? I mean, it's just you basically can't mess with me because you really don't know how to approach me. You see what I mean? And at first I really didn't know how to take that, but and not trying to sound cocky, but that's just the way it is. A lot of people, they look at me a different way, or they look at me some ways before they start talking to me, and then they start speaking, and they be like, "Well, you're real this or you're real that," and I'm like, "What's that supposed to mean?" You know what I mean? Like, how am I supposed to look? Like, what am I supposed to sound like? You know, because I wear this or I wear that, I'm supposed to sound like this and sound like that, and that's what I want my son to have the courage to be who you are, man. Like, don't let nobody tell you different. And what I love about him is he is who he is, and can't nobody stop that. Yo, he gonna be him regardless. And I want him to keep that courage and always. But I want him to have that in an honorable manner, like I said, and be committed to whatever, you know what I'm saying, he set his mind to. Whatever you focus on, man, just be committed to it, man. And that's basically what I try to, I guess, get through and preach to my kids.
Yeah. I love that. I love how the fathers who I've talked to so far, part of their value system is to instill that courage, that, you know, that boldness into their kids to continue being who they are, you know, and be committed to whatever they decide to do. So I love it. I love that theme so far. And what is it like balancing it all? Like you said, you have your military background, you have your wife, you have your kids, you have your passion for horses, and then you're continuously developing in your career. So when it comes down to like the balancing act, talk to people about how do you balance it?
If I honestly, man, if I told you I balance it or how I balance it, I'll be lying. I really don't have. I sit up all night. I mean, my mind is constantly going. I feel like if I have time to sit around, I have time to do something. And that's basically, I guess, how I balance it, because I always have time to do something. If I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't sleep, you know, the whole house is sleeping, everybody else is sleeping, I get up. My horse is up, so I'll go work with him. You know what I mean? Hey, we be in the middle of the night. It be in the middle of the night. We be 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. And my old lady, she'll wake up. She'll be like, "Where you at? What you doing?" "I'm outside." You know what I mean? "What you doing outside?" "I'm messing with Venom." Like, you know what I mean? And it's after that, you know, I come in the house and my daughter, she always wants to show me something, or she always has a picture that she's drawn and she wants me to see, or she wants me to play with her dolls. So, you know, I have to do that. And then my son, he wants to go outside. He wants to show me his flips. He wants to ride a go-kart, and he wants to do different things. So I try to make time or manage my time every day to make time for, you know, everybody in my household or those who are around me. And I think managing time is the biggest mishaps or misfortune we can have with our kids, because they begging for time now. When they get 13, 14, they don't want your time then. You know what I mean? It's kind of almost like you missed that curve, like it's almost too late. It's not too late, you know what I mean? But it's, you know, you missed the stellar part, or you missed a major part of, you know,
development.
Yeah, that development.
Oh yeah, somebody said you cut hair too. Yeah, that's true.
Hey, I spoke to a young guy earlier, man, and we were talking, we were chopping it up or whatever, and he was just like, he said, "Dang, man, you back in school? You go to barber school?" I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "What's wrong? You don't like welding?" I'm like, "Yeah, I like welding." He was like, "Well, why are you going to so many schools?" I'm like, "Yo, you can never have too much under your belt." Like, I feel like I'm a hustler, man. I can sell you everything but drugs. You know what I mean? So I can do whatever you want me to do. Like, I'm serious. Like, yo, you need your tire change? I can do that. You need your brakes change? I can do that. You need your oil change? Okay. You know what I mean? What, you need something welded together? Okay, I can tag that up. What, you need a haircut? I can get that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, like, what you need? Your pipes fixed? Your sink is clogged? I can fix that. So, I mean, I feel like I'd never be broke. I would never be broke. If I'm broke, it's just because I want to be there, and I don't ever want to be there. So, I mean, and that's why I feel like I don't have pity towards no man, especially a grown man. Like, you can get out and get it, man. And everything around you is so simple. You just have to learn it and understand it. And I mean, once you learn and understand how things work, is that simple. You know what I mean? And I just can't see, you know, me sitting around being broke, and like, I got kids in the family I gotta feed. You know what I mean? Yeah. And part of that was, you know, watching Daddy growing up. You know what I mean? He was out from 7 o'clock in the morning till 11, 12 o'clock at night. He was outside, you know, fixing on something. You know what I mean? He might have never thought I was watching, but you know what I'm saying? I peep here and there. I never had the time for it, but you know, I always knew what I was doing. You know what I mean? So and you know, shout out to Pops, man. He would I get on him now. Like, I call the house and mom would be like, he in the bed. So 12 o'clock in the day, you know, tell that rusty Negro to get up. You know what I mean? Yeah, get on his job. You know what I mean? I don't know. If I lay down for too long, my body starts to hurt, or I feel like I'm missing out. Not missing out, or I'm lacking on something. There's something that could be, you know what I mean? And I'm laying around, and I just can't. I don't like to see people lay around and waste time. You know what I mean? You lay around and waste time. There's so much could be done.
We never had that luxury.
And I was on go. You know what I mean? So, and I'm still that way till the day. You know, so always on go, man.
That's what's up. Yeah, we never had that luxury. It was always windows being opened up, the sun shining, it's 12 o'clock, the whole day away.
Past 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? So,
yep.
But I appreciate those work ethics, and you know, I try to instill those work ethics into my kids. And even though I feel they're kind of young, I try not to press them too hard, because I feel like they're still young, and I want them to enjoy their childhood as much as possible. I want them to be kids as long as possible. No, I take that back. Not as long as possible. Don't be kids as long as possible. But you know what I'm saying? As long as age permits. You know what I'm saying? But grow with your age. You know? And that's what I want for my kids.
That's awesome. So being that you are a military vet, what do you think about education? How do you feel about education from the father's perspective? Because I just closed out the Mondays with Moms, the homeschool edition, where we were talking about homeschooling and how that's been working for them. And some of them don't homeschool, but they still teach their children at home some things. So what is your perspective on like education from the father's viewpoint?
Education, I feel, as long as I want my kids to excel, don't get me wrong. But whatever they focus on, I want them to get educated in that. Education as a whole, I'm kind of iffy about, because there are a lot of my friends today that are in debt from college, you know, and I've never been to college, so I don't have that college overhead or that college debt. So it was.
Tell the Lord thank you. I said, tell the Lord thank you, because I got some debt.
It was much easier for me to get ahead. It was much easier for me to put my foot down and stand firm in front of my peers because they had that college overhead or that college debt. Granted, when they were in college and, you know, I was in the military or working or whatever, I did feel like I was missing out on the experience. But on the other side of that, I'm kind of, hey, what, like, hey, y'all have fun. You know what I mean?
I tell people all the time. I wish I went in the military first.
Yeah.
Get that GI Bill, man.
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing now. Like, I'm just using my GI Bill to go to different schools now because even though I'm 30 and most of the kids, I'm not going to say most of the kids because my night school in barbering is different. I'm with adults. When I was in welding school, I was with a lot of 19-year-olds, 21-year-olds, and, you know what I mean, being 30 in the class with 21-year-olds, and it was just, I didn't really want to be there. But I don't know. With education, like I said, with my kids, I just want them to focus. I don't want to push them too much in one direction. If they want to do, you know, college and go on from there, whatever, then that's fine. But if they want to learn skills, I'm a tradesman, and if they want to learn skills, then
yeah,
you know. But as far as, you know, elementary and high school education, of course, that's a given. They must get that.
Exactly.
After that, it's, you know, I feel like it's whatever direction they want to take.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like, it's just a different world. We still need people who specialize in certain things. Everybody can't be a college grad, and everybody doesn't need to be. Like you said, it can be a waste of money because a lot of us go to college and end up not even working in the field that we went to college for. And then, you know, a lot of us also experience the bite back of, oh, now you're overqualified for a certain position. So it's like, I don't really fit in for this, and I'm either underqualified or overqualified for that. And it's just like you said, once you find out what it is that you are passionate about, you know, study that and go for it with that.
Oh yeah.
That's what's up, man. So I think that we basically touched on everything based off of what we were going to discuss concerning fatherhood. But if there's anything that in general that you wish somebody would have told you, or something that you want to instill in these young cats about family, how family matters, and how to start to build your families up in the Black community, I'll let you have the floor and just speak on how you feel that, you know, some of these younger men in our community need to hear.
So what I want to tell, I guess, the younger generation of men, you know what I mean? Because like you said previously or initially when we first started, I'm at an age to where I'm connected to the older generation and I'm connected to the younger generation. And the younger generation, I hear them say a lot, like, the older cats, they don't have time. They don't ever teach us this. They don't ever teach us that, yada, yada. The older cats, they say, man, these young cats, they don't want to hear nothing. They always take offense every time you try to tell them something. So I'd rather not tell them anything. I got me, you know?
Right.
And I hate that, you know, some of them got that, some older guys got that mentality, but they kind of want to stay out of the way because they feel like these young cats are just rah-rah. What Steve Harvey say, I shoot you in the chest, I'll wait up. You know what I mean? Hey, but it's not really, though. If you take the time, you know what I'm saying, talk to some of these young cats, man, they real cool, man. And they just, like I said, they never had that father figure. Their father figure was always gone. So you can't, I heard somebody say something the other day, and I can't remember where I heard it or who said it, but they said, you know, you can't take a young Black man who never had any type of authority figure in his whole 18 years of life and try to force authority on him at 18, because in his life he had no authority figure. So he's not going to listen to the cops telling him to cross the street or listen to he's never had that authority type figure, you know what I mean, as a father in the household. And that's where I think a lot of disconnects are with, you know, young guys and the world we live in, or the older generation, you know what I'm saying, getting that connection. The disconnect there. And there's also a disconnect with, like I said, that authority figure. My thing is, I want to touch on police more than anything. Police and the younger cats. I've been stopped, like, coming out of Moss Grove. My old lady, she used to stay in Moss Grove. Granted, I had a box Chevy, but during the time I was in the Marine Corps, you know what I'm saying? I was in the service or whatever, and they stopped me, they pulled me over, and they told me that they were getting a lot of calls about burglaries in the area. Like, okay, cool. I just came from boot camp, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to leave. So I'm just like, y'all getting a lot of calls about burglaries in the area. And then he asked me, he was like, what you doing back here? Like, I couldn't be living back there. You know what I mean? It's houses or whatever. So he was like, what are you doing back here? So I was visiting somebody. Can you tell me the address? At that time, we didn't have GPSs on our phone. She just told me what house it was. You know, I didn't know the address. So
right.
I don't know the address or whatever. And the cops, they say real provoking things to get you upset or to get you out of element. And what I mean, and what I want to say to the younger cats is, I didn't become, and I'm trying to sound professional. I didn't become.
You can keep it real.
I'm trying to speak professionally, but I didn't become intellectual or able to articulate my feelings as well as I am right now until I started reading. And my thing is, read something other than Facebook, because if you read Facebook all day, you're gonna start reading. You're gonna start speaking like how people write and Facebook. You know what I mean? And you have to just find something that you're interested in and start reading about it, and find a book that interests you and start reading about it, and then things become more clear to you. That statement, if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. Like, that still stands true today, man.
Yes.
There's a lot of things around you that you could know, and there's a lot of knowledge around you that you have to pick up a book and read. And that's where it is, man. I want the guys to know that it's cool to go to school. You can be cool and go to school. You can be cool and work. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to sell drugs to be a hustler. You don't have to be a dope boy to have money. You know
right.
what I'm saying? And we need our younger black men to step up, man, and raise these kids, man, put an arm around them, man, and just show them the way, man, because if we continue to go in the way we're going, we're not going to have a younger generation, man. And it's just going to get worse and worse. It's going to be like the 80s, the 70s and the 80s all over again. You know what I mean? And we're ahead of that. So let's not go backwards. Let's go forward. And to the young cats, don't be so hard-headed to where you can't listen. Like, even if you don't want to hear it right now, just always keep it in the back of your mind, because later there will come a time, man, you got to listen, man, and to make it. You know what I mean? Yeah. You either gonna get money or you gonna be bummy. You know what I mean? You decide. You know what I mean? And the only way to really get money is to, like, have different connections. Like, people ask me, how did I get where I am today, man? I always talk to people. I always respect people. I always, yes sir, no sir. And people remember that. They always remember me for having manners. And, you know, even though I did what I did, and I was in it, I don't know, man. It's crazy, because even though we grew up in church every day, like, I was in the streets Monday through Saturday, and then I'd be in church on Sunday, like, Bill. And people never understood that, like, how you grew up in the church and be like that. But that's just the way it was, man. It was crazy. Like, we grew up in Pringletown, man, like, right off the interstate. Like, that's drug heaven, you know what I mean? And it's always been, you know what I mean? So that fast life is interesting to a kid. Like, you like, whoa, you know what I mean? And if you're not careful, man, it can consume you. It'll take over you. And you have to be able to shake back. And I thank God that I was able to shake back. I always had in the back of my mind, like, yo, it's fun. Running the streets is fun. But I did it at a young age. I did it like from like 12 to 18, 19, 20. By the time I'm 30, man, I just want to chill. I raise horses now. You know? I have fun. You know what I mean? I just want to have fun, man. So, hey, man, just slow down, man. Slow down. Pay attention. What's going around you, man, and get out and vote, man. We got to get this clown out of office.
That part, yes.
You know what I mean? Hey, if you're still able to vote, man, get out and vote, man. Even if you're not able to vote, man, still use your voice, man. You know what I mean? Your voice is not less heard than any other. You know what I'm saying? You have no less. Your voice is no lesser than any other voice. So, you know, get out and vote, man. Let's get this guy out of office, man. Just do what we have to do, yo.
That is powerful, bro. Powerful. Gave me chills. And we have, we like you said, we have no excuse. You can do absentee voting because Governor McMaster has declared that because of COVID, everybody can do absentee voting. We just have to stay on top of our deadlines for making sure you're registered and all that good stuff. If you did go to the DMV and change your license, make sure that you call your local voters registration office to make sure that they actually registered you to vote, because the DMV is, they get behind sometimes and you don't want them to be behind on your registration. So call your registration office and make sure that you're registered to vote in the right area. But everything that you said in that last, statement back to the youth is very powerful. Like, we need our Black kings. We need y'all to continue to be strong, continue to lead the way. Like you said, the mothers and the matriarchs, we do what we can do. But in every household, you can always see how the energy of the man or the masculine energy shifts the household. And you could have that feminine energy that, nurtures and provides in the way that they do, and that masculine energy that just sets the household in order in a certain way. So you need that balance of both energies. So what you said on tonight was good. Keep your ears open, you young people. Listen to the older generation, even if it doesn't apply, because someday it will, like he said. And one thing your mom used to say, Auntie always used to say that, manners will take you where your good looks won't, or your smartness won't.
Too, but ew.
She stayed on that with us. Like, if we get smart at the mouth or whatever, your good looks, that's a nasty attitude.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we keep ourselves, humble. When it comes to, relationships will open up doors for you that, all your intelligence and stuff will not. So.
Most definitely.
Well, this was a great interview, Dominique.
Yeah, we do it again.
All right. Hey guys, outside of that, make sure that you mark your calendars for Saturday, October 24th. We will be having our African Consciousness Festival. We're celebrating our African culture. We will have drums, dance, live entertainment, good food from the community. If Venom is available or any other horses is available, we might have some horseback riding. And we'll have other activities out there for the kids. A lot of us don't take our kids trick-or-treating because it's hard to trust people these days, but in a safe space, they'll be able to walk away with some swag and some candy. So come out on October 24th. The website is akkfest.org if you want to register. We just like for people to register so we'll know how much things to prepare for. All right. And don't forget to vote and register to vote and know who's running. We also have interviews on our website of people who have already came on the show and talk about what they are trying to do for our community. So, like Dominique says, stay plugged in, stay educated, read something outside of Facebook.
For sure.
Any lasting words, Dominique? Did I miss anything?
That's it.
All right. So it's your girl, Candace, signing off for South Carolina by Black Locally, and Dominique Rollison, our father for tonight for episode number 4. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you later. Peace.
SCBBL show. Rock on. Rock.